when Jesus was on trial before the Sanhedrin during his passion, he was quiet and he didn't defend himself. When he was taken before Herod, he didn't say a word. To Pontius Pilate, he only exchanged a few words. But in today's gospel passage, when he's asked to give evidence that he is who he purports to be, he speaks eloquently. He was clearly identifying himself as the Messiah. And in these few lines of the gospel, we can see clearly the plan of salvation unfolding. However, many of the listeners of Jesus missed it completely. Why? Well, Jesus tells us why. He says, "You do not have the love of God in you." And then a bit further on, Jesus tells us that human approval means nothing to him. And why is this? Well, because the Father deserves all the credit for anything that exists, because ultimately he created everything. All things come from him. Jesus leaves us the example of how we should search for the Father's glory and never our own. If we seek praise from people around us and work hard to be accepted by them, to gain approval, we must see it for what it is and let it go. We must just glorify God alone through our actions and our thoughts. If we constantly seek self-approval from others, we will be constantly disappointed. Self-seeking never works. We end up in a continual cycle of emotional highs and lows. However, when we forget about ourselves and will the good of the other for the other's sake, not our own, we can be sure of a sense of peace in our hearts. No matter how many obstacles and misunderstandings besiege us, Christ is always looking out for our good. Whether we perceive difficult circumstances or unexplained sufferings, we can be reassured that Jesus knows what we need and can work it all out for our benefit. If we have the love of God in us, we will always have peace in our hearts.